All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so last week we talked about Nmap and stuff and a little bit about Wireshark and when we did the demo and everything. Well, we're going to talk about another scanner today called Masscan. You can actually scan the entire internet in literally an hour or two for like one port. So, but you got to have a high performance NIC card, network interface card. And in order to get that, you're going to have to get one that's specifically built for high speed and has driver, and you'll have to recompile the driver and your kernel for Linux, and it's complex, but you can do it and make it scream. But we're not going to talk about that as much. We're just going to use Masscan to do kind of the same things we did with Nmap. Now, if we go up to the top here in Kali, did I hit record? Yeah, I did. Okay. So if we go up and hit Kali, and we look at all applications. I mean, you can type it in the search bar there too. I'm used to just scrolling. If we go down to Masscan, it should be in here somewhere. And if not, yeah, Masscan right there. If you hit it, it's just going to bring up a terminal window. Like a lot of the commands in Kali are just going to bring up a terminal command because everything is, command line for the most part. So right here, if we type in, you can see it gave you some information up here. Not a whole lot. Let me make this bigger for you guys because I can barely even see that.
All the cybersecurity have glasses ruin their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's see if we can find the zoom here. Don't want to do full screen because that'll mess up our recording. All right.
So like control plus?
I think so. Zoom in, control plus. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get it to work. Control. Okay, that's not working. Let's try command and plus. No. When you're working on a Mac with a Windows system, sometimes the control keys don't line up. So we just have to hit the option a few times. All right. Have you been able to work with all your labs and stuff and get them working?
Yeah, no.
All right, cool. Okay, can y'all read that a little better? I'll probably make it go one more bigger and it won't mess it up too bad. Okay, so Masscan requires two pieces of information. It requires at least one port, okay? So you got to use the -P option, and it requires a target, what you're going to scan. So let's do this. Let's just do a real quick scan, okay? And we're going to do -P, and we're just going to scan for an open port 80. You know what? Let me just make sure I got the right IP address first. Yeah, okay. We're just going to do port 80 to start with, and we're going to do the entire school network. And of course, you do it in CIDR, just like everything else. Permission denied. Okay, what did I forget to do? Yep, that's right. Okay, it's going to scan. Yeah, let's see what we get. Says it's done. There we go. 256 hosts, one port per host, and it didn't find anything. Well, if we were to do this maybe, something out. There's got to be a Windows machine, and what's it going to, you're going to see 135, 137, 139, 445 right off the bat because it's Windows and that's how they share. So let's do 1 through 1024 ports. So we'll just do all those and let's see what happens. Surely there's something on the network. Oh, it could be too early. Maybe everybody just left their laptops off except for this class, right?
Maybe.
Surely there's a teacher with a laptop open.
Yeah.
So far it's found 2.
Can we each? How many
3.
computers are open in your room?
Wow, look at that. We have 3 computers in this room open. Oh, and look, it found port 53. Okay, so there's at least 3 computers in here running VirtualBox that I know of, and they're all going to 4, 5, 6. So we should find at least 6 maybe that are listing on port 53, and maybe the router. Okay, .1. It's probably listing on it too. There's 5.
Just figured out that assignment, of course, is the last IP I did.
Yeah.
Only ports 1 through 2 through 5. I've found 1 computer so far.
I haven't found any.
Look at what she's doing.
All right, so far we found .36, .221, .89, .228, .41, .250, and .11. Has anybody got one of those IPs? I'm thinking all the ones with port 53 on it are running some sort of virtualization.
I have 214 at the end.
Okay. So if you've got no virtualization running, why would it be listing on port 53? Unless it's a DNS server. It's still going. It says it's got about 40 seconds left. But that's in, you know, mass scan time. It could be longer. I did put some videos up on YouTube this week. One on Masscan, one on Wireshark, and one on the other thing we're going to touch on here in a little bit. Found 11, 12, 13. It's kind of interesting that these things are answering on port 53.
Yeah.
You should see .1 because that's probably the router that the school is using for the Wi-Fi. And it should be providing DNS to everybody that attaches to the school network. See, it slows down. The more ports you scan, the slower it gets. So you can imagine how long it would take if we were scanning all 65,535 ports on TCP and all 65,535 ports on UDP.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's still saying 41 seconds, just went down to 39
Is that like 40 minutes?
seconds, supposedly.
Like,
But it's been 40 seconds at least since I said the last time that it had 40 seconds left.
keep on going up and down.
So 18. So we're getting a lot of stuff on 53. So let's stop this and let's be a little more specific. And let's ask it to grab the banners, okay? And how would we go through and see what that banner command is on a Unix command? Man, and then the command. Ask for that manual page. So let's scroll down a little bit. See, look, -- banners. Okay, so what could banners tell us? Tell us like maybe what is answering on port 53? Because it may not be a DNS server. It could be something else. So let's just change this to port 53 now. And let's tell it -- banners. This should be a little bit quicker because it's only scanning one port for every system. And then once it gets a list, it'll go through and ask it, what are you running? Okay, so you know what kind of banner is there. And then from there, we can kind of maybe start discovered open port, but it didn't give us any banners. Bummer.
Just one. Wait, how can be only one of them of those, but they have 19 earlier?
Yeah, that's a little wonky, isn't it?
Suspicious.
Well, let's see if we can, maybe we're scanning too fast. So see here, we got one down there that says -- rate. Okay, by default, I want to say it does like thousands of requests per second. So let's scale that back a little bit because the network may not be able to handle it, or the interface card for the Wi-Fi may not be able to handle it. So we'll do that real quick. Rate, let's just do 1,000 and see what happens. That might be the default. See if it finds more than one this time. Nope, same
It's a
thing.
different one though.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think we're just overrunning the buffer, so let's slow it down to 100. Let's see if that finds anything else.
That's another different one. Ooh, that's
Not looking good. A different one too.
Wait, are they on the same ones as the top ones?
Let's see.
Mine weren't. I think
Let's see. We had 60, 79, and 116. There's one's. This thing might just be not working very well. That's odd, isn't it? Maybe Nmap's working a little bit better than this. So let's try this same thing with Nmap. Let's see how many Nmap finds. Nmap is what probably 90% of the people use. It found 24 hosts.
I found 24 when I did the other one.
Okay.
With the Manscape or Manscape?
Masscan.
Manscape.
Yeah. So that's probably a good number there. I don't know why Masscan's not working as well for us. Let's see what else we can find with Nmap real quick, just so we can, let's just do some common ports. Spaces. All right, let's just scan those 5 ports and see what we get. We should be able to grab some banners for that, so I can show you the next tool, which is the thing that we really want to talk about today.
Maybe my computer funk is rubbing off with your computer.
Okay, it found 26 hosts up. Let's see if we can grab the banners. What?
Is it because you're using Nmap?
Yep. It probably won't know, use a different command. Because with this one, like the rate you use this for speed, you use like -T, I think it is. Let's see, where's the banners? One thing we can do in this as well, once you get into man, it's just like VI as a text editor. You can hit the / key to look for things. Hit hit the /, you see on the bottom it changes your cursor. Ah, pattern not found. Yeah, Don't you just love it when live demonstrations go south?
I was going off like that last night.
Yeah?
Yeah. The circuit board's code would not go on.
Surfboard.
Circuit board.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. The code would refuse to go on.
Oh, well, we may just have to move on then. All right, so what we're going to do with this demo is when we scan and you do the banner search, you get, what version of software is running on it. So let's go ahead and quit this. Let me get Ubuntu running real quick. We'll use it as the guinea pig. And we'll get Windows running as well. There, good, that was the password. All right, so the web server is running on Ubuntu. And let's see if we can get Windows to start up. Yeah. All right, and Windows will bring up with its typical file sharing ports open. Now let's go back down here to Masscan and just scan one of those two machines at a time, just so we can get what we need here. Not what I wanted there. What happened? Look at that. I left man in front of the command. That's probably not going to work well. All right. What?
Add sudo.
Yep, got to add sudo. Okay. I went ahead and ran those 3 ports across the whole network again. Let's see if it finds them. And then we'll try seeing which one it's on, because I don't know what the IP address is on those 2. 3 hosts with those ports. Which host are they? What we got? All right, so let's do banners. I wonder if there's something with the banners command that's having a problem. I'm not sure if this thing did any updates last night.
How often does it update?
Whenever it checks like every night if you leave it running. So it should anyway. Linux does. Windows, a little bit different, but typically it's multiple times a week at the least.
What about Apple?
Apple updates constantly. I mean, every night it seems like I'm getting an update for something. A lot of times you have to go look at it because, you know, in Apple, sometimes it'll throw a banner up, like if it's a big update that you really need, it'll throw a banner up and say, you know, notification, say you need to update, we're going to try to do it tonight. But with all the apps you have on there, there's constantly an update going on. All right, so let's just look at the thing that we're going to look at today. It's called Exploit DB. Have you guys heard of it? I think I mentioned it in here maybe last week. But what it is it's a handy tool that the bad guys use and the good guys. There we go. So if we go to Exploit DB, this is what it looks like, okay? And every time there's an exploit or that's published, they'll add it to this database. And you can see right here, like FlowRise 3.0.4 remote code execution, okay? Tells you who the author is, what platforms it hits, and what type. You know, web app, remote, local, compromise. Okay? Basically, what these are is, here, let's refresh this because this is 1031. That's kind of old. I guess that's it. So, that's the last one they've put in here. Now, this isn't every exploit that's found. I mean, like yesterday, there was probably 10 found around the world, right? But once they get exploit code or some way to crack it, you know, to break into it, to exploit that vulnerability so they can do something bad, then you'll see it wind up in here, okay? And let's just pick a couple of these and see if we can find one like this FlowRise. You can see right here, it's giving you some code, exploit title, and it gives you the name. It's got all the information, you know, the guide, the vendor, the version, the CVE it is. Remember that common vulnerability exchange, or, you know, numbers that we were talking about where you have the government puts it all together. Okay, scroll down, you got some ASCII art there with the dude that wrote this exploit. And then you actually get to the exploit. This is all Python code, okay? And that's all there is to it, right there. So basically, if you take this script, if you find a machine that has a banner that says FlowWise 3.0.4 or whatever that is, you can take this code, open your terminal up, type in VI and, you know, myexploit.sh or .py for Python, then enter all this code in there, copy and paste it, okay, save it, and then run that script against that machine. It will most likely exploit that machine with this vulnerability if it hasn't been patched. So, and what this one does is it looks like it gives you a command prompt.
So why would the bad guys even put that stuff up on there?
Well, a lot of times the security researchers will put it up there. Like if our malware guys, if they find something and they see an exploit that they can compromise, they'll build instructions for it. And if it requires, you know, building a script like this or something, they'll do that and they'll put it up there, because the quicker it's put up there, the quicker the guys that write that software, FlowRise or whatever it was, the sooner they can write a patch to make this not work. So that's kind of, it's information sharing. You know, if all the bad guys are keeping all this on the dark web, right, and that's all they're doing, just pounding it out and you know, using it to exploit, we're not getting better, we're getting compromised. So the good guys and the bad guys are kind of at a Cold War, like the Russians and the Americans were back in the 80s, right? You know, it's like they build a bigger weapon, we build a bigger weapon. They build a bigger weapon, we build a bigger weapon. You know, it just keeps on going. It's kind of the same thing, you know. They find a way to exploit, we find a way to block it. They find another way to exploit, we find a way to block it. So, but now what's cool about this is, you know, this one you have to go to a website to get this information, right? What if you're doing a pen test or you're someplace where you're on their network, like here you're on the school's network, and for some reason you know or you suspect that if you try to go to exploit DB that you would get caught, right? So you don't want to do that, especially if you're trying to test the network, see how far you can go. You know, as like a pen test or an assessment. Well, this is where Callie did something really cool. And I think you guys might find this interesting. They built a tool called Searchsploit. Okay? It's built into Callie. All right? So if you just type in Searchsploit, Searchsploit, just the way it sounds, okay, and it'll bring up a little man page, okay, telling you all the options you got there. Well, all you really need to do is type in Searchsploit and then start typing in. Let me just show you this up at the top here. Okay, you can see right here this piece, the usage. Okay, Searchsploit and then term 1, term 2, term to term n. Okay, so you can put in as many search terms there as you want and it will chug through it. But we'll just type in 1 for now. What was that thing we were looking at? Flowwise or something like that? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just do Searchsploit Flowwise. Is that how it was spelled? Yes, I think it was. Look there.
Is it 3?
Yeah, 3.0.4. That's the one we're looking at, right? Okay, so it tells you right here that that's the remote code exploit. You see it. There's 2 of them here. 2 versions that are affected. 165, which is authentication bypass. What do you think that does?
Bypass authentication.
Exactly. So you don't have to type. If you use that one, you don't have to type in a username and password. You just get right into it. Okay. Probably not a good thing if you're the guy that has that running on your server. All right. So.
What is Flowwise?
I have no clue. There's like so many applications out there that people use that.
It's like something with a computer application.
It's a computer application. I have no idea what it is, but half the time when we find something like this at work, I'll have to actually go do research to find out what the heck it is before we even know. And then I'll go start looking at our tools and seeing, is this even installed anywhere on our network? You know, and you got 20,000 computers, so there's no telling what's out there, you know. This is why we put so many controls on it so that people just can't install things, you know, because I mean, if you install Flowwise and you install Flowwise, but the different version, now I've got a problem because I got 2 versions of that. Both of them possibly have a vulnerability, and I have no idea that it's even out there. So, all right. So, if you look over here, this piece over here that says right there on this side over here, path. What do you think path is?
I'll read it in.
It's talking a file path here, okay? It's already got the script. Remember I was telling you how you could take that script from ExploitDB and create a file and paste that script in and then save it as a .py and now you have a Python file? Do you know it's already on your laptop? It's already in your VM. Check this out. Okay, so let's see if we can get to it. Or we'll just do an ls. ls / user. I think it's user share. May take me a minute to find it.
Oh my goodness.
User share Searchsploit maybe.
Oh. Oh my goodness. GNOME system tools? Is that
There's no gnomes in the system. All right, let me just look at the top of this thing. Maybe it'll list it out.
okay.
Here, let's do it the other way. Let's ask Google real quick. That's right. users share exploit DB. There we go. All right, so exploit DB. All right, so if you look in exploit DB, you've got a folder here that's called exploits. What do you think's in there? So, /exploits. And in here, you've got a bunch of them. Okay, now the one that we were just looking at, I believe was in multiple. It was called a folder called multiple. Yep, so let's do that. Exploits multiple. Okay, there's a few more things there. All right, let's scroll back up here and look at the, says multiple. You can see right here, multiple web apps, and then the script name, 52440. Okay? So, web apps, there's a few.
I thought it was in there.
Okay, so, and I do mean a few, you know. Actually, we can do this and tell you exactly how many. This is just that one folder, okay? So WC-L, there's 889 in there. All right, some of these have, the ones that are green there are .pys. Those are Python scripts, okay? The ones that are .txt are text files, but those text files are probably they'll tell you either how to do it, or it might be C code or something else that you'd have to compile. And we'll kind of get into that here in a second. All right, so we're going to change this. And what was it? What was that one we were looking at? Was a
544 or something.
yeah. Here, we'll scroll back up. There it was. 52440. All right. So 52440.py, and then we'll go down here and change this to a more instead of a ls. Okay, change our command. So instead of ls is just listing out the files and directories, more is going to actually type that command out on the screen for us. All right, so we can actually see it. You can also use cat, but more will stop and just do one page of it. Okay, this is the same exact same script that was on exploit DB. So it's already on the machine. So if we don't have network connectivity to the interwebs, we can just go pull it right out of our VM because it's already there. And to run this, see, we hit space. You can see there the whole script is there. Okay. Trying to see if he's got any notes in here on this, but it doesn't. We probably have to, you have to kind of look at the script and see what it's looking for, okay? Like right here, he's something to do with email, passwords. I mean, he's looking for things here. Maybe if we run it, let's run it and see what happens, okay? Because it may ask us to like enter an IP address or something like that. You have to understand the program and how it's working to actually understand what this script is doing and kind of read through it. So if we just change more to // and hit enter, it took our dot out. No such file or directory. But what if we type in Python? Python and then copy. They may have done something with the path in Kali to keep you from running it directly like that. Because typically // is going to run whatever's there that's runnable. So paste to clipboard. That didn't work. Okay, it tried to run it, and it's telling us, usage, Python, CVE, blah, 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 dot py, dash, dash, email, dash, dash, password, dash, dash, URL 3000. So you got to have some information to put in there, okay? So, and it's also, it's trying to run it on the local machine here, on the VM. It says localhost port 3000, and then what command it's trying to get you to do. So you have to like decipher this. See, and it tells you down here, error, the following arguments are required: an email, a password, a URL, and a command. Okay, so what this is telling you is if you know some information and you type it in, when it asks you, you type in -e email, -p for the password, and the URL for the FlowEye server, and then the command you want it to run. Okay, this is the bad part. This is why it's called a remote code execution. Okay, it's going to literally, whatever command you type in here, like right here, it's going to type in, who am I? So it'll tell it what user that FlowEye is running as. FlowEye, typically software like that, servers are going to run as the system, okay? So root, the super user. So if it's running as root and you can make this server do whatever command it is that you type in remotely, you've essentially commandeered that PC. You can do anything you please with it, including add more users, destroy it, make it do evil things, whatever. So that's what's cool about this. And it's not just like, a few in there. Let's do this. Let's do Searchsploit. And let's just type in Windows. Okay, there might be a few in there. Okay, and some of it found some of them that are, just, talking about a part of Windows. Then you'll find other ones that are for like specific versions of Windows. So if we scroll up, like right there's any Windows that runs on x86 architecture.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot.
Well, we're not done yet. And it keeps going.
So much Windows in here.
Yeah.
Windows is a problem.
Windows is a problem. This is why we're on Macs or Linux.
You suck.
Hey, I didn't say it, but yes, I agree.
That blue.
Windows is very, very common and most businesses use it, right? So because it's so common, it's going to get the most focus from the bad guys, right? So,
Keep on going, let's see how far it goes. Just
Very far.
very far. Yeah, very, 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 very far. Huh?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how far it goes. Well, you can do it. If I can grab the little thing there. There. Yeah, there's a lot here. We can do this. There's a quicker way to do it, okay?
Wait, how many lists are there?
Oh, there's a lot. Okay, so we can just do Searchsploit Windows and pipe that to WC-L word count and 10,924. There's a few. But you can go through and kind of poke around in this. Like if you see somebody's running Apache version 2.4.7, right? You can say, okay, let's see, let's do Searchsploit and we'll do Apache. Okay, and you see there's some here. Okay, so we know for a fact that, see, there's all the Tomcat servers. Well, most of your web pages on the internet run on Apache. Yeah, so you just, like right here, see all these versions? So let's just see what we got for like a version 2.2. Apache, and we just type in 2.2. And there's just everything that has 2.2 in it somewhere. You see how it's kind of doing it? Now let's see, what if we want to find remote code exploits, okay? Instead of 2.2, you can just type in remote. And that's the group that it would be in. Like, remember we looked at one and group was web apps?
Yeah.
Now we're going to look at group of remote code execution, which are all of these. So this is Apache with remote somewhere in the description. So like in most of them, like the part on the over here, the path, they're all under the remote section in the path where the scripts are. But if you look on the right-hand side or left-hand side, for me, you'll see where you've got Apache, and over here it'll say CGI bin remote code execution. Okay, that means you can, if you find a web server that's running, it's running Apache and it's got PHP version less than 5.3.12 or less than 5.4.2, depending on which path it's in, then you can run this script, whatever's there, you can run that against that web server and get the ability to execute code on the web server as whatever the web server is running as. Typically it will be running as something like Apache or a user like that. So pretty easy. But this makes your life a lot easier if you're pen testing or something and you're stuck on a network and you don't want to alert the security guys that are monitoring for people doing things like going to exploit DB.
This is how you do you.
Yep. All right, so 9:15, is that what time we're done?
I think so.
All righty. So like I say, there's videos up on Searchsploit, Wireshark, and Masscan, so y'all can go watch those as well. And there is an assignment up, I think, maybe, or I may have gave y'all a break because it's Thanksgiving week. So,
Well, no.
yep.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.